Alright guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and today we're going to be talking about the latest injector release coming from Nostrum High Performance. Now these guys are jumping into the B58 space with these new injector upgrades, and I think it's pretty cool that they're going about it in a little bit of a unique fashion with their marketing. You can check out their page and see that they've got some cool R&D images and just details to show how they develop the injectors, and I think this will probably be a really good option that's coming to the market. As of now, it's available for pre-order, and I don't know if by the time I post this video if it'll be officially for sale, but I will have links down in the description so that you guys can check out their website to get the latest information as far as their availability. But we'll go ahead and talk about the injectors, and hopefully you find this video useful.
Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future.
So first of all, let's do a little bit of background. And Nostrum is a company located here in the United States. They're just up in Michigan, so if you shop with them, you are shopping American. And also they've been making fuel upgrades for a very long time. They make parts for a lot of different platforms, including the N55 and S55 engine. So this is just kind of like their step into the B58 space as well. Now they really pride themselves on their R&D and development practice for how they come up with their fuel upgrades. And if you check out their YouTube channel, they post a bunch of different videos about the equipment that they use and kind of their process to characterize injectors and understand where they can find improvements. And then they redesign it and test it and kind of show a lot of that process. So I think it's really cool to see a company being that transparent with how they do things day to day, but definitely check that out if you guys are interested. So of course with the B58, it's no different. They did all of their development in-house, all of their testing in-house. They did dyno testing and road testing just to make sure that it fully works. And now we can kind of see what the options look like. So they're going to have two different injector options for the B58, a stage 1 version and a stage 2 version. Both of them are going to come with all 6 injectors, so you just order one package and 6 injectors will come together. They are also flow matched, which is a nice touch, and we'll see that pretty typically with fuel upgrades, but compared to OEM, where you just kind of get 6 random injectors and you don't know how they compare to each other, they will kind of batch them together so that you get a flow matched set. And then of course it will come with the data sheet and the serial numbers and everything that you need to register the parts and make sure that you have it available for warranty. And it will come with an install guide to make it easy to install. So the stage 1 injectors are starting off with Bosch cores. They're going to be the same cores that are used to create the stock injectors, but they use different internals that allow it to flow 35% more than stock. So that should provide a nice little bump in, fuel supply and allow you to push the car a little bit further compared to the stock ones. It is a complete direct fit, so you don't need any adapters, no wiring harnesses, brackets, or anything like that. It installs just like the stock injectors, and you will need custom tune settings in order for it to work. At this time, it's not available as like a drop-down option from boot mode or MHD or anything like that, but they will be working with the major tuning platforms in the future to make that easy. But for now, if you go with these injectors, you'll need to get a custom tune and make sure your custom tuner works with Nostrum in order to get the tuning updates he needs to make it run properly on your car. And then, of course, they highlight that it's E85 compatible and it's capable of handling up to 240 bar or 3,500 PSI. So that should give you a nice amount of headroom over the stock, standard 200 bar fuel pressure. Now, the stage 2 versions are going to be the exact same, except instead of a 35% bump, you're going to see a 66% bump compared to stock. So these will flow a lot better and basically just give you even more fuel supply to support even more power. They rated it for 700 wheel horsepower on E85, and that might be underrating it a little bit. I know typically we reference dynojet numbers here, so we've seen 650 to 700 on an ethanol mix with the stock injectors. So if it can support 66% more than stock, I would estimate 7 or maybe even 800 wheel horsepower on E85. either way, I think this should be a good injector upgrade option that will allow you to, basically max out your transmission and like a typical daily driver setup without having to invest in, a built trans or a built engine or anything like that. And you can still run full E85, so you don't have to worry about mixing and stuff. So this will kind of give you that extra convenience to make all the power you want. One odd thing that I wasn't sure about, but it does reference that the max pressure is 220 bar or 3200 psi. So it's a little bit lower than the stage one and it's lower than stock. It probably works fine, and they said that they are just working on the validation to show that it can handle the higher pressure, so they haven't updated the paperwork yet until they get that data, but that is just something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the spray pattern, because this is something that they highlighted a lot as a part of their R&D and development. They really wanted to make sure that the injectors worked well during the cold start sequence and during idle and cruise. It can't just flow more fuel, it needs to have good driving characteristics. And they actually showed how they tested the stock injector spray pattern, which is pretty comparable to what we see from BMW. You can see in the BMW documentation and the technical instruction, they show what the injector pattern should look like. And so during their testing, they saw the same thing. But you can kind of see on their injectors, they changed the pattern a little bit. It looks like they added extra spray points and it's closer to the middle. And so maybe that helps with atomization and just the efficiency of your fuel mixing with the air in the combustion chamber. It'll be cool to see when people get some data out there. Maybe it'll give you a little better gas mileage, a little smoother idle, and just overall better performance and drivability. So something unique. I haven't seen anybody else try to adjust or kind of highlight the spray pattern as a special characteristic for their injectors. And we'll see how this works once people actually get them in their cars. So you guys know the deal with DI upgrades. There are a lot of benefits. Obviously, you're going to be able to run this with a tune without any additional auxiliary controllers or auxiliary fuel lines or anything like that. It's basically 100% plug and play with the custom tune settings. So they're designing it to be, more reliable than an aftermarket port injection system and things like that. And of course, all of the injectors are tested and flow matched before they come to you. So a lot of people ask me, will these be more reliable than the stock injectors? And I don't know that I would necessarily say that's the case, but you will have the peace of mind that you know how they were tested, and you'll know that the injectors were flow matched when they come to you compared to, buying OEM injectors where they come in 6 random boxes and you have no idea what their relation is to each other. It also does come with a lifetime warranty, so if there are any defects in the actual product, you can work with Nostrum to actually get those replaced completely free of charge. And yeah, I think it's just really cool to see another upgrade come to the market. This is currently only for Gen 1, so if you have a Gen 2 B58 or an S58, just be patient. I'm anticipating they'll be working on hopefully releasing that soon. And one other thing they highlighted is this can be combined with their high pressure fuel pump upgrade. So they do have, basically the same kind of high pressure fuel pump upgrade that we've seen from a lot of other companies. It doesn't seem as common in the B58 space, but it's always nice to have more options so you can combine that with their injectors and get even more performance. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.